Want to walk into any room and instantly connect with anyone, whether at work, a party, or even on a first date. Welcome to Detailed Book Summaries, the channel that turns powerful books into real-life success strategies. Today, we're breaking down How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes, a brilliant guide filled with 92 simple but powerful communication tricks to help you build confidence, boost your charisma, and win people over in any situation. If you're ready to upgrade your social skills, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's dive into these game-changing tips. Chapter 1. The Secret to Making a Powerful First Impression. The moment you meet someone, a silent conversation begins. Before a single word is spoken, your first impression acts like a personal brand in motion, instantly shaping how others perceive you. It's a quick, often unconscious judgment that can open doors or shut them before you even start talking. Leil Lowndes, in How to Talk to Anyone, reveals that mastering this initial moment is the key to successful communication and building lasting relationships. One of the simplest yet most powerful tools is what she calls the flooding smile. This isn't just a quick, polite grin. It's a slow, genuine smile that starts from your eyes and spreads warmly across your entire face. Such a smile doesn't merely express happiness. It radiates sincerity and kindness. People can feel it. When you flood your face with this kind of smile, those you meet naturally relax and lean in, eager to connect. Another magnetic technique is sticky eyes. This means holding eye contact just a little longer than usual. Most people glance away too quickly, but when you sustain eye contact without staring, you create an invisible bond. It silently says, "I'm interested. You matter." This subtle cue helps others feel truly seen and valued, deepening the connection right from the start. Body language plays a huge role in first impressions. Leil suggests what she calls the big baby pivot. When someone approaches, turn your whole body toward them, feet, torso, and head, just like a curious baby would. This simple gesture signals full attention and engagement. Humans instinctively pick up on such cues, and it builds trust and warmth even before a word is exchanged. Names also hold surprising power in communication. Using someone's name naturally during conversation is more than polite. It personalizes your interaction. Our names are the sweetest sounds to our ears, and hearing them repeatedly builds rapport. When you subtly repeat a person's name a few times, it shows you're genuinely listening and helps form a stronger connection. But there are common pitfalls to avoid. A weak handshake can sap your confidence before you begin. A blank or disinterested expression, the so-called dead fish stare, makes you seem unapproachable, and staring too intensely can make others uncomfortable. The key is to find balance, warm, steady, and inviting signals that encourage openness. Why does all this matter? Because every encounter is an opportunity to build trust, open doors, and form meaningful connections. First impressions set the tone for everything that follows. When you master these simple yet intentional tricks, the flooding smile, sticky eyes, big baby pivot, and using names, you lay a foundation that makes people want to listen, trust, and engage with you. Mastering first impressions isn't about acting or pretending. It's about showing your best self with warmth, attention, and respect. These small, mindful moves create a huge impact, turning everyday interactions into powerful relationships. Chapter 2. How to sound like you're really interested, even if you're not. Once you've nailed that powerful first impression, the next challenge is keeping the conversation flowing. And the secret sauce? Making the other person feel truly heard and important. Leil Lowndes knows that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the way you show care? It's all in how you listen and respond. Chapter 2 dives into techniques that make you sound genuinely interested, even if you're naturally shy, distracted, or not a great talker. The magic is in your tone, your body language, and little verbal cues that say, "I'm with you." First, Leil highlights the importance of listening with your whole body. It's not just about quieting your mind. It's about leaning in, nodding, tilting your head slightly, showing through your posture that you're present and engaged. This nonverbal feedback encourages the other person to open up more, deepening the connection. Next up is what she calls the echo technique. Simply repeat the last few words your conversation partner said, like a soft echo. It's subtle but powerful. For example, if they say, "I just got back from a crazy trip to Italy," you respond with, A crazy trip to Italy? This not only shows you're paying attention, but invites them to elaborate, making them feel truly valued. Leo also warns against the most common conversational killer: interrupting. It's tempting to jump in with your own story, but cutting someone off sends a loud message that you're not really interested. Instead, practice patience. Wait a beat before responding and let the speaker finish their thought fully. This simple discipline builds trust and respect. Another neat trick is using positive affirmations. Small phrases like, "That's amazing, I can imagine," or "Tell me more." These little verbal nods fuel the conversation, showing enthusiasm and keeping the energy alive without dominating the talk. But it's not just about what you say, it's how you say it. Your tone should be warm and animated, not flat or robotic. A lively voice conveys curiosity and care, making the other person feel important. Lastly, Leo points out the power of asking open-ended questions. Questions that require more than a yes or no answer. Instead of "Did you like the movie?" try "What was the best part of the movie for you?" This invites stories, emotion, and opinions, turning small talk into meaningful dialogue. Why do all these little tricks matter? Because when you make people feel heard and important, they naturally gravitate toward you. Conversations no longer feel like a chore, but an enjoyable exchange. You become someone people want to talk to again and again. So, if you want to sound genuinely interested, even if you're not feeling it at first, focus on your body language. Echo their words, avoid interruptions, sprinkle positive affirmations, and ask open-ended questions. These techniques create an effortless flow that makes your conversations richer, deeper, and far more rewarding. Chapter 3: How to Sound Like an Insider. Using language that connects instantly. If you want people to feel close to you quickly, one of the best tools is speaking their language. Not just literally, but by matching their style, words, and rhythm. Leil Lowndes explains in Chapter 3 that people naturally warm up to those who talk like they do because it signals shared experiences, values, or understanding. This chapter reveals the power of mirroring, subtly matching the other person's speech patterns, tone, and even body language. When you mirror someone's style, it sends a silent message: we're on the same wavelength. This invisible bridge can instantly deepen rapport and break down social barriers. For example, if they speak softly and slowly, you do the same. If they use certain phrases or slang, sprinkle those in too, but naturally, never force it. People can sense when you're authentic versus when you're copying them awkwardly. Leo also emphasizes the importance of catchphrases, little verbal hooks, or insider words that create a shared identity. Think of how sports fans bond over their team's slogans, or how coworkers have nicknames and shorthand. When you pick up and use someone's catchphrase, it's like an inside joke that says, "I get you," but beware of overdoing it. The goal is connection, not mimicry. Keep it subtle and genuine. Another neat trick is the pause power. How you use silence in a conversation can shape its energy. Pausing just before or after an important point lets your words sink in and gives the other person room to respond thoughtfully. It also shows confidence and control. People listen more when you're not rushing to fill every moment with chatter. Lastly, Leo points out that the way you frame your stories matters. Sharing experiences that relate to the person's interests, challenges, or values makes your tales more compelling and relevant. It's about making your conversation partner the star of the story. Why does this matter? Because sounding like an insider builds instant trust and comfort. It's a shortcut to deeper conversations and stronger relationships. When people feel understood and included, they open up more, creating connections that last beyond surface-level small talk. So next time you talk to someone new, listen closely to how they speak, the words they use, their tone, their rhythm, and reflect it back naturally. Use catchphrases, pause for effect, and tailor your stories to their world. These subtle shifts make you feel less like a stranger and more like someone who belongs. Chapter 4: How to Make Your Smile Work Wonders. The Art of a Winning Expression. A smile is more than just a friendly gesture. It's one of the most powerful social tools you have. In Chapter 4, Leil Lowndes reveals how the right kind of smile can instantly transform your interactions and make people feel safe, valued, and drawn to you. But not all smiles are created equal. A quick, forced grin can come off as fake or superficial. Instead, Leo teaches us about the flooding smile, a warm, slow building smile that spreads from your eyes and reaches your whole face. It's the kind of smile that lights up your presence and makes others want to be near you. This genuine smile tells people you're open, approachable, and trustworthy without saying a word. It lowers their defenses and invites warmth and connection. She also warns about the social smile, that tight, lip only smile people use out of politeness, but that rarely moves the heart. The flooding smile, in contrast, create emotional resonance. It shows you care. Leil emphasizes that your smile should match the situation. For example, when greeting someone, a big flooding smile sets a positive tone. But during serious or sensitive conversations, a softer, empathetic smile shows you're attentive and respectful. Interestingly, she points out that smiling can be a feedback loop. When you smile, your brain releases feel-good chemicals, making you genuinely happier and more relaxed, and that authentic feeling shows on your face. Smiling also triggers a similar reaction in others. Humans are wired to mirror expressions. When you smile warmly, people instinctively smile back, setting off a chain reaction of positivity. Another fascinating insight is that a smile combined with a slight head tilt conveys curiosity and interest, making you more magnetic. Leo reminds readers that a smile isn't just for strangers or formal situations. Use it with colleagues, friends, and family to nurture relationships and diffuse tension. Why does this matter? Because your smile is a powerful nonverbal message. It's the easiest way to communicate warmth, openness, and confidence, all critical to building connections. So, the next time you meet someone, slow down and flood your face with a genuine smile. Let your eyes sparkle and your warmth shine through. That smile won't just open doors, it will open hearts. Chapter 5: How to Make Your Eyes Do the Talking, Unlocking the Power of Eye Contact. If a smile is the welcoming handshake of the face, then the eyes are the windows that invite people inside. Chapter 5 dives deep into the magnetic power of eye contact and how mastering it can instantly boost your connection and charisma. Leil Lowndes explains that eyes reveal emotions we often try to hide: curiosity, warmth, skepticism, even attraction. When you look someone in the eyes the right way, you send a message of genuine interest and confidence that words alone can't match. But eye contact is a delicate dance. Too little, and you seem distant or shifty. Too much, and it can feel intense or intimidating. The key is balance. Leo recommends a triangle technique, subtly shifting your gaze between a person's left eye, right eye, and mouth in a smooth, natural pattern. This keeps the connection alive without staring or making things awkward. She also stresses the power of the sticky eyes, focusing on the other person's eyes long enough to communicate attention, but not so long that it becomes uncomfortable. Around 3 to 5 seconds per glance is a good rule of thumb. Interestingly, the eyes can express more kindness than words. When you pair eye contact with gentle smile, you create an irresistible combination of warmth and confidence. Leo warns against looking over someone's head or to the side, which signals boredom or disinterest. Instead, truly see the person you're talking to. For nervous or shy people, practicing eye contact in small doses, like with a friendly cashier or colleague, builds confidence gradually. Soon, it becomes a natural, effortless habit. She also highlights cultural differences. While eye contact is a sign of respect and engagement in many Western cultures, it might be less direct in others. Adjust accordingly, but never completely avoid it if you want to connect. Why does this matter? Because your eyes don't just look, they invite comfort and persuade. Mastering eye contact helps you appear more trustworthy, empathetic, and charismatic, making conversations flow smoother and relationships deepen faster. So next time you talk to someone, don't just look at them, look into them. Let your eyes say what your words can't. Chapter 7: How to Remember Names Like a Pro, the golden key to making people feel valued. Names are more than just labels. They're the gateway to building genuine connections. In Chapter 7, Leil Lowndes shares why remembering and using someone's name correctly is one of the simplest yet most powerful tricks to win people over instantly. She points out that a person's name is the sweetest sound of their ears. When you say it right, with attention and respect, you're telling them you matter. But forgetting a name or getting it wrong can create distance and awkwardness, even if everything else goes well. Leil introduces several clever techniques for nailing names even if you have a less than perfect memory. One of the most effective is the repetition method. Immediately repeating the person's name during the introduction, and again soon after cement it in your mind. Another tip is to create a mental image linked to the name. For example, if you meet someone named Rose, imagine a blooming flower. This visual association makes the name stick. She also suggests using alliteration, pairing the name with an adjective or action that starts with the same letter, e.g., Jolly John or Smart Sarah, to make it memorable. Leil advises paying close attention to how the person pronounces their name, especially if it's uncommon or from a different culture. Getting it right shows respect and openness, beyond just remembering names. She highlights the power of using the name often in conversation, not too much to be annoying, but enough to make the person feel acknowledged and important. Why is this so impactful? Because in a world full of distractions and rush encounters, taking the time to get someone's name right says you're present, interested, and value the relationship. So next time you meet someone new, commit their name to memory with intention. Use it warmly and frequently. That small effort can turn a fleeting introduction into the start of a meaningful connection. Chapter 8. How to Master Small Talk. The Secret to Turning Strangers into Friends. Small talk often gets a bad rap, seen as trivial or awkward filler. But Leil Lowndes flips that script, showing us that small talk is actually the secret handshake of human connection. It's the gateway from strangers to friends, and mastering it can open countless doors. Chapter 8 breaks down how to make small talk not just bearable, but enjoyable and effective. The key? Being genuinely curious and focusing on the other person. Leil shares a free information concept. Everything someone says is a clue, a treasure trove you can use to keep the conversation flowing. Ask follow-up questions and invite stories and feelings, not just yes/no answers. She also highlights the power of openers. Simple, disarming questions or comments that break the ice. Instead of the typical "how are you?", try something more engaging like, "What's the most interesting thing that happened to you today?" Or, "I love your item. Where did you get it?" Listening is crucial here. Leil stresses that people love to talk about themselves. When you listen actively and respond with enthusiasm or empathy, you make them feel understood and valued. Another gem from this chapter is the you attitude. Keep the focus on the other person, their interests and experiences rather than on yourself. This builds rapport faster than sharing your own stories too soon. Leil also advises steering clear of controversial topics or anything too personal early on. Stick to light, positive themes like hobbies, travel, food, or entertainment. And if the conversation hits a lull, don't panic. Use a transition phrase, a simple segue to a new topic, like, "That reminds me of," or, "Speaking of that." Why does mastering small talk matter? Because every big relationship opportunity or friendship starts with small steps. Small talk is your chance to make a positive impression and build trust effortlessly. So next time you're in a social setting, ditch the dread. Embrace small talk as your secret weapon to connect, learn, and charm. With the right mindset and a few tricks, even strangers can become friends. Chapter 9. How to use body language to build instant rapport. Speak volumes without saying a word. Words are powerful, but what your body says often speaks louder. In Chapter 9, Leil Lowndes uncovers how mastering nonverbal cues can create instant connection and trust, sometimes before a single word is exchanged. She explains that body language is like a secret language we all speak, consciously or not. When your posture, gestures, and facial expressions align with your words, people feel more comfortable and open around you. One powerful tip is the mirroring technique, subtly matching the other person's body language, like their posture or hand gestures. This unconscious mimicry builds rapport by signaling similarity and empathy. Leil also emphasizes the importance of an open posture, arms relaxed and uncrossed, body facing the person and leaning slightly forward. These signals say you're approachable and engaged. Eye contact, covered earlier in the book, plays a huge role here too. Combined with a genuine smile, it's one of the strongest nonverbal tools for making someone feel valued. She warns about negative body language signals to avoid: fidgeting, looking around the room, crossing arms, or checking your watch. These can betray disinterest or nervousness, pushing people away. Another subtle but impactful move is the forward lean. Leaning in just a bit shows active listening and enthusiasm, making the other person feel important. Leil also discusses how to use gestures to emphasize key points without overdoing it. Natural hand movements can make your speech more engaging and memorable. By becoming aware of your body language and consciously shaping it, you control the vibe of the interaction. People pick up on these signals instantly, long before you finish a sentence. The takeaway? Speak with your whole self, not just your voice. When your body matches your message, you become more persuasive, approachable, and likable. Chapter 10: How to Become a Master Storyteller. Captivate and connect with every word. Stories aren't just entertainment. They're the glue that binds people together. In Chapter 10, Leil Lowndes reveals how weaving compelling stories into your conversations can instantly capture attention, build trust, and make you unforgettable. She points out that everyone loves a good story because it triggers emotions, creates mental images, and invites listeners into your world. Unlike dry facts or statistics, stories engage hearts and minds alike. Leil breaks down the elements of a great story: a clear beginning that sets the scene, a middle filled with tension or conflict, and a satisfying ending that delivers a lesson or resolution. One tip she offers is to keep stories relatable. Tailor them to your audience's experiences or interests so they feel personally involved. This deepens connection and keeps people hooked. She also stresses the importance of brevity. A story should be long enough to make a point, but short enough to hold attention. Cut the fluff and focus on vivid details that bring the scene alive. Leil encourages using vocal variety and body language to add drama and energy to your storytelling. Changing tone, pace, and gestures makes your story jump off the page and into the listener's imagination. Another trick is to involve your audience by asking rhetorical questions or pausing for effect. This invites them to think and emotionally engage with your narrative. Leil reminds readers that everyone has stories worth telling. Your experiences, lessons learned, funny mishaps, or moments of insight. Sharing these vulnerably builds authenticity and trust. Ultimately, becoming a master storyteller means turning everyday conversations into memorable moments that forge bonds and influence people. So next time you chat, don't just talk, tell a story. Make your words dance, your audience lean in, and your message stick. Chapter 11: How to Make Your Compliments Count. Turning praise into powerful connection. Compliments are more than just polite words. When done right, they become bridges that bring people closer. In Chapter 11, Leil Lowndes shows how to deliver compliments that feel genuine, memorable, and meaningful. She begins by explaining why most compliments fall flat. They're either too vague, overly generic, or clearly just flattery. People can sense insincerity, and that kills connection faster than anything. The secret? Focus on specific details. Instead of saying, "You look nice," say, "That color really brings out your eyes." Specific compliments show you're paying attention, and that's what people crave. Leil also encourages complimenting effort and character, not just appearance. Praising someone's kindness, creativity, or hard work makes your words deeper and more impactful. Timing matters too. The best compliments come spontaneously during a natural moment, not forced or rehearsed. It keeps them fresh and heartfelt. Another key is delivery. Make eye contact, smile, and use a warm tone. Your body language has to match your words, or the compliment loses power. Leil warns against over-complimenting or piling on flattery. It can seem desperate or manipulative. One well-placed, sincere compliment beats 10 hollow ones. She also shares a neat trick. Compliment in public, criticize in private. Praising someone in front of others boosts their confidence and strengthens bonds. The payoff? When you compliment well, people feel seen, appreciated, and more connected to you. It's a simple way to build goodwill and open doors socially and professionally. So next time you want to brighten someone's day, don't just say, "Nice job." Dig deeper, speak from the heart, and watch how your compliments work magic. Chapter 12: How to Sound Like an Insider. Speak the language that builds instant trust. Ever notice how some people immediately seem to belong wherever they go? Leil Lowndes reveals in Chapter 12 that a huge part of this magic is the way they speak. Their choice of words, tone, and style creates an instant bond, making others feel comfortable and connected. She explains that sounding like an insider means tuning into the other person's language patterns and reflecting them back naturally. This mirroring builds subconscious trust because it signals similarity and understanding. Leil encourages paying attention to key words and phrases your conversation partner uses. If they say team, you might say our group. If they talk about projects, you use that term too. Matching vocabulary makes you sound like part of their world. Tone is just as important. If they speak slowly and softly, slow down and soften your voice. If they're energetic and fast-paced, pick up the tempo. This subtle adjustment shows empathy and helps the other person relax. She also advises avoiding jargon or complex language unless you're sure the other person uses it too. Keeping language clear and relatable keeps communication smooth. Leil shares tips for using inclusive language, words like we, us, and together, that foster connection and a sense of belonging. Another trick is to ask for advice or opinions using their terminology. This makes people feel valued and positions you as a collaborator, not an outsider. This chapter highlights that speaking the other person's language is less about copying and more about respect and curiosity. When done authentically, it turns strangers into allies fast. So next time you want to make a great impression, listen closely and speak their language. It's a simple key to unlocking deeper, faster trust. The truth is, connection isn't magic. It's a skill. And Leil Lowndes proves that with just a few tweaks in how you talk, listen, and carry yourself, you can become unforgettable. Which of these 92 tricks are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments below. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe to Detailed Book Summaries for more tools to help you succeed in business, relationships, and beyond. Remember, how you say something often matters more than what you say. See you in the next video.